despite it being against the rules, despite punching made the player count drop to death's door during the day hours, despite Noxcrew lowering the mid player count for the game and updating to get to the other side to address punching, although it only really applies if you spam punch 9 times. People still punch. This video takes this issue into our own hands, finding routes on all maps to avoid punchers at all costs. This is useful for guaranteeing placements for quests and removing the possibility of DNFing due to getting punched into the void. Also useful for content creators who get recognized on the server but are still too small to get the creator rank. Subscribe. There is probably a route or two that the pros probably don't even know about, so don't click off. Now, Noxcrew members, you might get flashback from Grid Runners or the pro version. What I found might not be called intentional, but please just keep them in the game. I spent way too long working on this, and I just want to play the game in peace without getting targeted. If you do remove them, consider this video my tester application submission. Now, there are some common characteristics when it comes to punchers. They are single brain cell, meaning they will take the first path they see. That also means they aren't the fastest. They like punching since it doesn't require any thinking of them, and they love dangling keys. How does this apply to you? Take a side path. Punchers are most likely to go perfectly straight. Modifier messages like one life or slapstick are like dangling keys to them. They love to start punching as soon as they see that message, even before the round begins, so you can identify them and avoid them. Get ahead of them. They are slow. Being fast gets you out of their reach faster. Don't become dangling keys. They will focus on you. If you do have to become one, be out of reach. They don't want to work to get any reward. Avoid edges when possible, aka you don't want to get knocked off in the void. If you do get targeted, quite often at the beginning of the round, get to a spot where you can stay perfectly still and they can punch you as many times as they want, because they require constant stimulus and they will quickly get bored because nothing's happening and they'll move on. Now, for the maps themselves, my movement is not the best, so some could be faster, but the slower the run but the higher the placement is an indicator of how bad the punching is in the game. Now let's get started. First up is air train, or with the reskin Santa's train. As you can hear in the background, there's punching, so I'm sticking to the side to avoid where the punches are. Now for this one here, there's not much other than to go fast, so that's what's going on. Punchers are not that good at parkour, so doing parkour and getting above them minimizes the chance of you getting punched. And then here you want to try to go up, try to stay up to the upper section, because then the punchers won't be able to follow you and you're more by yourself. So far. And then for these slimes here, hold spacebar to speed yourself up, and that's how you get first without getting punched. Next up is Badlands, and as you can see, I'm just sticking to the left hand side as most as possible. Here you can see how garbage my movement is, but even with this garbage movement, you can still get a great result. So again, just trying to stick as far to the left, doing the main path. And then as a bonus, for sticking to the left hand side, you don't need to place any blocks there because it's lower there. And then again, trying to stick as far as way out, and I'm still sucking at pillaring up. And again, pillar up like normal. And punch that chicken, of which I miss. Now a backup strategy with this map, in case you are getting targeted even harder than the left hand side, going out this bit where you don't have to place a block, instead of going into the cave, you can head to the left and place a couple blocks, pillaring up. As you see, one person there is actually following me, but that's fine. And just heading on the outside of the cave where no one else would go, and you can just connect back up to the normal path and continue like normal. Now it's Beehive with slapstick. This one has its own unique route compared to the previous ones. Again, sticking to the side, avoiding the people who go straight and punch. Now you might be thinking I'm going for that one honeycomb entrance, but again, sticking far to the left because no one here would take this path. Then hopping up here, and as you see, everyone who took the main path are currently slapping each other. This one spot here, you have to cross paths because that's the only way up, but then after that, you stick wide all the way up where there's no one else. And then you just merge back here, and you hop to the end, and that's how you get third place. And there's even one person apologizing in chat for punching. Now is the bricks map, so again I'm heading to the side. It could be left or right side, this time I'm doing left. Now the trick for building up these walls is first I build a bridge across the bottom, then I build up. So this way if there's anyone who tries to knock me as I'm building up, they physically won't be able to knock me into the void. So just filling all the gaps. Now here you can go around that pink container if you have somebody following you that you don't trust, otherwise you can just pillar up here, jump across, and pillar up to the end. And that's how to get first on this map. Now for Canyon, the worst map for punching out of all the maps. Essentially you want to bypass the entire map because it's that horrible and inconsistent. And as a result, doing this trick can get you anywhere between 10th and 1st. As you can see, just keep pillaring up. And essentially what we're doing here is we're climbing the outside all the way up to the very top. Fun fact, this map is kind of most hated by everybody because multiple times where if this was the first map, enough people would leave where it would kick the remaining players back to the main lobby because there wasn't enough players to continue the game. Anyways, you just keep pilling your way up to the very top, and then once you are up to the top, which is right about now, you can jump down to pretty much the end where you have to make a decision that would vary every time you play this map because this map is that inconsistently bad for punching. Is because sometimes you get here in the center bit, there's literally knifing here, so in that case what you have to do is either just choose the left or right and build your way around, or for the skeletons to get in, or you can do the same thing however on the right side by again just following the side there and go over and top the skeletons going down. Building across in the center there, if you're the first one there, it's not the best idea because you have essentially you have 8 skeletons shooting at you here, 2 more underneath you, and you have 2 blazes shooting you all at the same time, which is not the best. Now if there is a bridge here like there is in this case, you could choose to do that. However, you have to be wary of people there who likes to punch you. For example, there's a person there, so that's a judgment call. In this case, this particular bridge is actually one of the safest ones that the person can build because believe it or not, it's out of the sight of the skeletons at the back and possibly the ones behind you, leaving you to the only 2 blazes shooting at you. And that's how you avoid all the players and mobs for this map, making it peaceful. Now for Chilli Con Carnage, you want to start in the center because of slapstick. If you're on the edge, when you get slapped like that, if you were on the edge, you would just fall into the void instead, which is not having a good day. So after that, you kind of just want to continue like normal, up to a point. Once you are here, you want to head to the right side and pop up these 2, and then here you want to turn around for a sec and do 1 jump back. This way you can get on top of the waterfall cave, avoiding all the players. From here, you can either go drop down onto the left side that has the closer tree, might be possible on the right, but I just do the one on the left. After this, you want to follow close because if you try to do some trick along the edge, when you're falling, you're essentially acting like dangling keys to a puncher, which was one of the failures in my previous attempt. Here, I just messed up, but since I kept getting bad RNG to get this map, I just had to live with it. Anyway, so you hop over here where no one goes, and you're far enough away that no puncher would follow you there, and from here you can just run down the side and you don't have to worry about anyone ruining your day. Cliff map, a lot of small details in order to help you win on the second worst map for punching. So first of all, you want to stay out of the mob where they just punch in order to try C. There I was holding on A to stay on. Here I don't jump in case I get punched last second. Here you want to position yourself if you do get punched to use the fence to protect yourself. Here stay close to the ladder. If you get punched, you can hold A to bring yourself back. And then here you want to jump to the side, holding A there again to keep myself alive. I punch the puncher there and they're punching me back, and again holding A to keep myself alive there. As you can see, now I normally end the recording here. However, this here is kind of just a perfect case of even when I was just recording the 1 clip per map, we get a person who's breaking the rules for punching. This is what we have to deal with. Not fun. And in this case, they still won, and there's only 5 people who actually finished that map because the punching was that bad. Now for the doors map, it's just basic principles because there's not too much you can do. There is one small trick that I'll show in this clip here. So essentially what you do is you can find the door, you see that there's a group there, move over to one of the doors that was locked where there's no one there. As you can see, both sides are punching each other off while I remain safe, and that is basically the only real non-puncher route for this one, other than the basic principles of staying away from everyone that you see. But I will continue this to show the ending. Just for some movement tech, you can just hop on these spruce slabs here to save yourself some time from getting the slowness effect from the soul sand. And that's how you get first. Now for the third worst map for punching is Funhouse. This one here, since it's all tight quarters, there's not much you can do. A little bit you can do at the front is stick to the right, because that's the one that gets used the least. And then stay wide here. And then from here, again, you just want to try to get ahead. Use the right hand doors. If you get punched, you can use the left hand ones then, so you're not stuck in a corner. And then from here, it's just a case of trying to get as far as possible, fast as possible, to get away from all the punching you hear in the background. Here, I stick low. It is a little faster to go higher. However, if you're getting punched, that could screw up your flow. You can just shift under here. And booyah first. Industry is up now. Now this route here is not the best for regular play, but if you have a modifier like slapstick for example, this route becomes more effective and maybe worthwhile for you to do. So essentially from here, you just want to take one jump on the left hand side and start pillaring your way up. And as long as you start pillaring, you will never experience any player in your way. In this case, I'm just looking at the pathway there and I see that I'm lined up with the blue glass, which is good. And if I'm off by 1 or 2, that's fine because I can just do the jump across. And then once you're up on this top thing here, you can turn left if you're not the fastest at bridging, and just place the freeze blocks. Place another one to hop across, and then from there just follow the walkway at top and then just drop down. And punch your chicken to get second. Log Vegas is a pretty easy map for me, but for a safe path, what you want to do is pick one of the sides. The one risky spot here is where you just have to pillar up 4 or 5 blocks, but from here you don't have to worry about much, and from here you just jump from roof to roof and just placing blocks underneath you. Jump across here and just keep going on and build the safety bridge of the one across the bottom before going up, because if anyone punches you, you have nowhere to fall off, and just like that you can get first, even taking the slower safe path. The pits route for a safe path is not the fastest during normal play, but if you have a modifier, it could be faster, and also it could be faster because my movement is not the best, as you will soon see. So essentially what you do is you want to climb the Godzilla, and from there you would just want to hop up and there you just walk around the edge of the map. And then once you hop down here, you just have to essentially wall build. You just sprint and do that, and repeat that on 2 sides. Until you get to where the chickens are, punch your chicken, and you're done. Shallow Lava is the next map. In this route, you can take any time and every time, and as long as you're good at movement, you'll pretty well guaranteed to get first or second. Only person who will beat you is if there's a really good player who does perfectly straight. Otherwise, this here is a winning path that no one actually takes. As you see, just sticking out far to the left side, you can probably do something similar on the right. And from there, just build. As you see, the first person is right there, but I get the chicken first. Siege has an interesting, peaceful path. However, it's not fast at all, but it definitely guarantees that no one will punch you. So you want to head to the left, it has to be the left, you cannot go the right way. And essentially what you're doing is we're just going all the way around the map. This is also the map that I got called out on by the mod, wondering what the heck was I doing. Well, I just hated punchers that much, so I'm going all the way around. So again, you just keep going around. Go around the backside here, and then this is where you start climbing all the way up to the finish. The one with the moderator in it, I was slightly slower, so that's the reason why you're not seeing the moderator in this server list. And then once you get up to the top, there's a handy ladder for you to climb up to get your prize. This is SkyDive, where things start to get interesting. So from the start, you immediately want to rush to the right and shift as far as possible, because right when it starts, break the blocks. And from here, go past the gold blocks and start pillaring up, and then tote up to break the ceiling, and then climb up on top. This way you avoid all the punching at the beginning of the game, and based on the slight delay, people had already built a bridge for you to just jump off once, twice, or for you to get first. SkyScaper is even cooler with multiple highlights I want to show you. So this time I'm going to the right. I haven't tested the left. It might work with the left, might not. So essentially what you want to do is not drop down, but to go around. Now we also want to keep Master Gaming their username in mind, because they're doing another safe route that is different than mine. So essentially we're going around, dropping, and just placing walls so we don't fall down all the way. Since they're a little ahead, I just drop down to that. Then here, I just want to drop down right before, at the point there, break the two blocks here, where there's two white blocks above it. And from here, I just mine in. I'm increasing the brightness so you can see what's going on. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm mining, a little bit of lag here. But then once I see the black blocks right here, break them. And just like that, I'm in the end room where I can just drop down and punch the chicken. And then as you can see, that person who went all the way around got third while I got second. Now the original plan, or a variant that you can do, is essentially I drop down on the inner wall, but a variant on this one where if you have better movement, it might actually be faster, is you go along here and you count to the fifth one here, break the two blocks that are directly below it, go up it, so instead of mining more blocks, you only have to mine 8 blocks because you're lined up perfectly straight. And Noxcrew members are probably having flashbacks to my grid runners. Spiral was a tough map to route for no punching, because ultimately there's only 2 routes. The only variance here is just go slightly to the right here to avoid the main path going up, and then go up here and jump up, make that jump. It's pretty difficult, you need to be good at parkour, and then from there just continue like normal. However, since I'm movement and I blanked, I dumped up, so missed first, missed second, but got third, but you can get first with that. RaceTrack, its route was basically, majority of it was just movement optimization to make it somewhat decent and fast. So essentially from the start, on the right hand side, you want to just pillar up as fast as possible. Pillar up a little higher than that platform, since it's made out of slabs, to place a block. Once you get up onto this railing, you want to go along. Right now you can see the regular players are a little bit ahead, but we'll eventually catch up to them. And essentially once you get to this end of the railing, you want to place a couple blocks up. A little misclick there, a little bit of time loss. And then from here, we just want to run along this edge pretty well all the way to the end of the map. So I'm just lining myself up here, pressing W and A, because pressing those 2 buttons at the same time is actually just faster for movement wise than just holding W. So I'm just slowly working my way up to the top here. As you can see, there's the first person there, and I'm right behind them, and I just pillar up. So I just avoided all the punching for pretty well the majority of the map. And just like that, a second. To the Dome map has a really safe route that I'm going to show you. However, it's not going to guarantee you a high position. Quite often, it's most likely around the 10th and 9th position, but essentially heading right to the far island on the left hand side. Essentially, this here is already outside the view FOV of the punchers, so you don't have to worry about that. And essentially doing the slow bridging. So again, my movement is not the best here. On a normal group where punching isn't bad, they already be finishing around now. However, since there's a lot of punching this time around, nobody has finished yet. So again, I'm mining my way in, which Noxcrew probably didn't know about, and I'm just continuing mining. First finish just happened, which is really late, and still I'm sticking to the left, avoiding the main path, because essentially what I want to do is drop down to this blue one here, where if anyone's there can knock me off, build a safe bridge. Just like that, I got a lucky 5th. The next map is Train Passing, or for the Christmas reskin, Poor Passing. What you want to do is stick to the right hand side, drop down. You don't have to place any blocks yet. Head between the beginning of the train and the first attachment to it, and essentially build here. No one's around here, build your way up. Doing this route normally gets you around 8th. This time there's a lot of punching. You'll see people complaining in chat real soon. You start pilling up here. There's blocks of free side, so even if anyone gets there, they can't punch you off. And you essentially pull your way up to the top. And just like that, there was 2nd because there was a lot of punching. Immediately head left on the beginning of treetop, because there are two routes that are straight that punchers can see you and punch you off, and essentially you want to just stick going left the long way around, because no one barely ever goes that way. And in case of modifiers and whatnot, this map here is also kind of bad for punching. So just like that. There you go, second place. The wall solution I have for no punching could probably be improved with better movement. As you can see at the very start. See, I'm a little slow going down here, but once you're down here, you can essentially just sprint and speed bridge all the way to the cradle at the end. Alright, and then to avoid punching, you could modify maybe go up, but for me to avoid at all costs, I'm just going to speed bridge along the walls along the entire map. So one more speed wall to do, and then once you're out past this bump out in the wall, you can start pillaring up, because now you're protected on two sides where nobody's there to punch you off. And then just pillar up to the end. Boom. Waterfall, the last map of this video. Essentially the trick to avoid punchers at all costs is for the first half. Essentially you want to climb back up the waterfall at the very start, and then just climb up the main one here. I have a person here who's kind of just taking it along, and once you get through, you can kind of just go along the edge for a good portion of it. I'm a little slow here. I'm just waiting for them to see what's up, but I decided I'm going to go ahead. And even with this slow start, it actually ends up paying off pretty good in this particular round. So again, you just want to keep sprinting and jumping along the edge as far as you can go. I'm just checking to see if they're anywhere behind me. Fortunately not. You just jump across the tree, jump down, and then from here you're back onto the main path, and you kind of just continue like normal using the general rule of thumbs to avoid punchers. Now I'm not including Drop Zone or Scramble, which are the two newly added maps, mostly because they are the most clustered, compact maps together where there is no breathing room to get away from a player, so you just have to try to apply the general rule of thumbs. Anyways, have a good day, see you later.